Okay. Do you guys hear me now? Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now? God. Yes. Okay, great. All right. Oh my God. Oh man, I can't believe I did that. That probably happened on purpose, by the way. So thank you everyone for reaching out. I didn't see the comments. So thank you, Christine. Anyway, if you don't mind, I'm going to start again since you didn't hear me. This is a real special class to me. I want to do it in honor of my mother, who passed away of the COVID virus this week. And I don't know what emotions or feelings or sympathy or what came up when I just told you, but what I would like you to do is to make a U-turn and take all that sympathy, empathy, and turn it into compassion for yourself. Because if we start giving compassion to ourselves, we can also help heal the world, and you can help heal me too. So let's start. So inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale your right hand down and arch over. So during this pandemic, a lot of us may have had our own grieving. And then come on back up, reach up, left hand down and arch over. And what happens with the body is we tend to tense up. I think you people all realize that. And come on back up and take your right hand to your left knee and twist around. And so by opening up the body, in particular the heart center, the hips, it helps release. It helps heal. And then come on back up. And left hand, right knee, twist around. And they say in Ayurveda too, come on back around. Let's roll our shoulders, bring them up, back, down, and around. There was a terminology of digestion healing. So it does happen within your gut too. So start cultivating. Now let's go in the opposite direction, bringing your shoulders up, back, and forward. Bringing some compassion back into yourself. And keep feeling it. And then pause. And for a moment, just think, how can I bring more compassion to myself today? And breathe it in. And breathe it out. And we will keep coming back to that term throughout this practice. Come on back around to tabletop. Okay? Start rounding your back up and dropping your belly. And see if you can, in these cat-cows, start by focusing first on moving the pelvis. So focus on the pelvic area, moving down and up. Start loosening up down there. I'm going to loosen up the center of the back. And then as we keep going, and go nice and slow with me, okay? So you can get the breath going. Now focus on the center of your back. That tipping point of moving up and back. And what we're trying to do is just bring a little bit of stuckness and unstick it. And now come up to the shoulders, like the upper back, and really feel that movement and the breath and how we're getting the whole trunk of the body moving a little bit, opening up, releasing. And then come on back down. Now take your right leg way out. Bring the right ball of your foot on the floor and press it back. And stretch out. All the way back. And then bring it back down. And take the left leg back. Ball of the foot down. Press it back. We're starting to release down in the bottom. I usually go into bird dog here, but let's just take one body part at a time. And then come on back down. All right, let's rotate our hips. So bring the right leg out. Bend the knee in towards your shoulder and then bring it back down to your side. So start making circles, big circles with your hips. We are going to be working up to pigeon today, if you're going to join me in that. And so we're going to be doing a lot of hip openers and then move the hip in another direction. As I stated, a lot of us keep emotions kind of stuck in the hips, and it's obvious. We sit a lot. So it's good to move them around a little bit. All right, let's do the other side. Bring the left leg out, bend the knee in, and start circling it around. And however, if you need to come down to your side to do this, just start moving that hip around. If you have a hip replacement, you know your doctor told you not to do this or whatever. Rotate around the other way. So please refrain if your doctor told you not to do something like this. And maybe continue doing cat-cow. And then come on back. Okay, so take your right leg out. Cross it over your left knee and see if you can bring that right knee down to the ground. It's like you're sitting, like your left leg is over the other. And just move back and forth. So you're not sitting back, you're just moving back and forth. We're starting to open up the side of our legs. And yes, you're going to be a bit crooked here, and that's okay. And one more time, just back and forth, nice and slow. And then bring the leg way out again, and then just keep the leg straight. You guys know, you people know I love doing this. Cross it over your left calf and look over your left shoulder. And feel that opening now, maybe a little bit higher in the waist. Breathing in, breathing out, letting all that tension release. And then come on back around. Okay, left leg goes way out. Cross it over and, move around however you need to. And again, we're moving back, sit bones back towards the heel and forward. And keep going forward and back. As we know that heavy emotions block any kind of movement. So by doing something as simple as this, it's starting to open up. And then bring the left leg out, cross it over again, keep it long, bring the left ball of the foot on the floor and look over and feel the side open up. Breathing in, breathing out. And then come on back down. And I want you to sit back into child's pose. Just stretch back all the way back into this restorative pose and feel the nice stretch. Maybe if your arms are out front. And then come on back up to tabletop, curl your toes under, and come into downward facing dog. So just hold dog for a moment. We're actually going to be doing a little bit of movement coming back down again. So hold for a moment, come back down to tabletop, untuck your toes and sit back into child's pose. In a sense, come on back up to tabletop, curl your toes under, downward facing dog. This nice, slow beginning movement of warming up. Come on back down to tabletop. Sit back into child's pose. It's sort of a prostration, especially when you come down into child's pose. It's a semi-prostration, I should say. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. And as we know, in some traditions, come on back down to tabletop. Sit back into child's pose. It's used to pay homage to God. And come on, tabletop, downward facing dog. And for others, I believe in Indian tradition, come on back down, sit back, downward facing, child's pose. It's for when you meet an elder. So this is bowing down to our, come on back up, tabletop, to someone who meant a lot to us. But then bringing it back around to ourselves. So we bow down to those elders, in my case, my mother. And then we come back up and we bring compassion to ourselves and hold downward facing dog. And breathe. Nice big inhale and exhale. Okay. Walk your feet behind your hands, forward fold. Feel that nice stretch all the way down the backs of your legs. You can grab your elbows and sway side to side. Hands on your knees. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale down. Come on, all the way up. Stand up. Reach up to the heavens and skies. Bring your palms together and bring that compassion right down into your heart, that loving kindness. All right, come on up to the front of your mat or wherever you are and just start swaying around. Just again, this is more of a loosening up and kind of bending your knees and moving a little bit. Just feeling this nice flow of getting warmed up, letting go of all the unstuckness. Oh, I just heard a good crack in my shoulder. A good crack. Come on back up to the front of your mat. And inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale, fly down. Keep your knees bent a little bit. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale down. Step back into low lunge. And come on up into your low lunge. And just for a moment, bring your hands to your belly. And feel the rise and fall of the breath. Don't let it get stuck in your chest. Bring it all the way down while you're in a low lunge. And then come on down to tabletop. Lower yourself all the way down to your belly. This is a prostration. Let's just call it a little cobra right now. Press yourself up so that you feel a stretch in the front of your chest and your abdomen. And then come on back to downward facing dog. And breathe. Nice big inhale and exhale. Okay, walk your feet behind your hands. Come into a forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down. And stand all the way up. Reach up. Reach up. Gather all that love. Bring that compassion down to your heart. And check in. What can I do today to bring some compassion in my life? Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way back down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down. Okay, step your left leg back. Low lunge. Come on up. And maybe this time, one hand on your belly, one arm up. Just so we feel continue with the breath, but feel a little bit more of a stretch. And it doesn't matter what hands on your belly or what hands up. And then bring your hand down by your front foot. Step your left foot next to your right. Forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down. And stand all the way up. Reach up, reach up, reach up. Hands together, palms in. Okay, real quickly, everyone. See if you can do this standing, right? Maybe you need to grab a wall. That's okay. So bring the right knee up. Bring it out to the side and around. So again, we're rotating. Now, for those that may have issues with your hip, just maybe bring it up and down, okay? So rotate out and around. And again, you can use a wall. That's okay. Then rotate around the other way. Maybe trying to get a little bit of balance in here, right? Just opening it up a little bit. And then come on back down. Whew. Yep, feeling that. Other side. Bring it out and around. And see if you can do it slow. Nice and slow, mindful. Feeling that a whole opening going on. We want to release, right? We want to release stuff. So open it up and around. No blockages. Let everything go, because that's the way we heal. Come on back up. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, fly down. Nice and slow. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down. Okay, bring the right leg back, and we'll come into runner's lunge. Certainly you can bring your right knee down, but we'll come into a twist to bring the right hand down, left arm up. And again, we're twisting around to open up not only the belly, but the shoulders where we can seem to get a lot of tension. Need to release. Keep breathing into this nice twist. Okay, bring the left hand down. Okay, and tell you what, let's just come back into plank, everybody, or tabletop. Lower yourself all the way down. Come on up to up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, everyone. And breathe. Nice big inhale and exhale. I'm going to challenge you here a little bit. You're going to get that right foot between your hands. Maybe lift the right leg up. Step it between your hands, setting up for a high lunge on this side. Left hand down, right arm up. Feel that great twist, opening of that right shoulder up, letting the tension go there. Keep breathing. And then bring your hand back down. Step the left foot next to your right. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down. Come on, all the way up. Slowly, everyone. Gather all that compassion. Bring it all in. All right. For this next one, so you're going to step your foot way out. You may want to have a block nearby. I should have mentioned this earlier. I apologize. Put it on the outside of, doesn't matter, I'm going to say my right foot. Wide stance, or whatever stance that is you're comfortable in. Okay? So inhale your arms up, and you're going to take the left hand and cross it over to the right block, twisting around. So maybe you have a slight bend in that right knee. That's all right. Maybe some of you are extremely flexible and can get the hand all the way down to the ground. But whatever you do, make it be nice and gentle. This is about exploring compassion within yourself. And if you're forcing a pose, that's not compassion. You want it to open up and twist around a little bit more gently. And then slowly come on back, reach up, hands together, heart. I'm keeping my legs spread out. Maybe switch sides. Okay. Inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale, right hand now is going on the outside of the left leg for a twist. Left arm up. So the twisting, they help us digest our emotions. Maybe you can look up at your hand if your neck is okay and look down at the floor. Maybe again, look up at your hand and down. So now we're releasing a little tension in the neck. Again, another area that sometimes we can get stuck. One more time, look up and look down. Okay, come on down to the center and inhale, slowly come all the way up. Reach up, hands in prayer, step together. Okay, so we're going to come into eagle. If you need a wall or anything, that's okay. That's all right. If you need to grab onto something. So just like we did in child's pose earlier, we're going to take one leg and I'm going to start with my right leg and cross it over. And maybe that toe, that right toe is down on the ground. Okay, that's all right. Maybe some of you can wrap it around. I'm going to keep it on the ground so I can communicate with you. And then bring your arms, if you can, into cactus. Okay? Now bring the right arm forward, left arm on top, and wrap around. If this is too much, hug yourself. Okay? Again, it's not about trying to force something that is really intense, but feel now the opening of your back. And if you can, start folding forward while you're lifting your elbows up. We are compressing now. We are compressing all kinds of muscles and obviously strengthening them. Keep holding it there. And then slowly come up, nice and slow. And if you can, at the same time, unwrap your legs and unwrap your arms and feel that tension. Just let go. So the idea was coming into compression and then letting go. Okay, other side. Okay, bend your knees. Bring the left leg over your right knee. Find your balance. Bring yourself into cactus. So it's left arm forward, right arm on top, other side. And again, do what's appropriate for you. If you want to try and wrap your leg, that's okay. If you need to grab a wall, that's okay too. Start folding forward. It is important to have a little bend in the knees on this one and stare at something on the floor. But again, feeling all that compression. And slowly come up and feeling balanced and still grounded, open up and let go. Let that freedom of tension go. Check in with yourselves right now. What can you do today to bring compassion to yourselves? Especially after doing an intense pose like eagle. All right, come on back up to the front of your mat. And inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way back down. And come on down to child's pose for just a moment. Sit back and stretch anyway. Now, if your knees do not go back to your heels in this particular child's pose, maybe you need a pillow or a block under your sit bones there. I would like you to do that if your knees do not, if your sit bones do not hit your heels, because I want you to release your lower back. If you can, get your sit bones down. Release the lower back. And maybe have your palms facing up, whatever, if they're down by your sides or in front of you. And this is a receiving gesture. So received, the compassion that the world has to give. And then if you want to, you can bring your hands back around. Walk your hands over to the right, just getting a nice good stretch along the left rib cage. We want to think about that left rib cage. And then walk your hands over the other side. I'm feeling a good stretch on that side. And whatever you're feeling, let it be soft. All right, come on back up. So this is the part where I'm going to take you into pigeon. For those of you that can't do pigeon, you can lay on your back and do a figure 4. But let me take the folks in pigeon first. Remember, only do what's appropriate to you, okay? So let's start by coming into tabletop. Bring your right leg back with the ball of your foot on the ground, okay? So feel that right ball of your foot pressing back. Let me come around, maybe show you this, okay? So it's back. Maybe you need to bring your right knee down for this next part. Take that left foot and swing it over towards your left wrist. And move that left shin closer to your wrist. And then what I'm doing right now is I'm sliding the ball of my foot back and I'm coming down. I'm bringing the top of my right leg. I'll come around here now so you can see. Right leg all the way down, but I'm staying up. I'm staying up. Keeping the ball of the foot up. And I want you to straighten the leg so it's perfectly behind you. You don't want it on an angle. That's why it's good to be on the mat. You don't want it way out. You don't want it way in. You want it back. And then bring your knee down, your right knee down. Bring the top of your right foot down. And feel that hip side, the left hip opening up. Okay, so we got the back leg situated. The front knee, the left knee, there's probably a little bit of tension going on there, not tension, but you feel some kind of stretch going on. And it's not about getting that left foot to your right wrist, okay? It's about what works for you. And if you want to bring it closer, I've been doing this pose for a long time, so I like staying up for a amount of time and just feeling that edge. And then if you want to, you can come down on your elbows. Now for those that are doing figure 4, you just cross your at this point, left leg over your right knee and thread your arm through. But feel the opening going on in the left hip. And again, know that this is a part where we do collect a lot of emotions, and sometimes holding poses for an extended period of time. And in yin, which is another form of yoga, they will hold this pose from 4 minutes to 20 minutes, which I did the other day. And I have to tell you, I did release a lot of emotions. And I also felt great. My hips were nice and open. But sometimes it's hard to access. And access the emotions. So holding poses for a little longer can feel really good. Certainly those who are super flexible can come all the way down. You can put a bolster, which I may show you when I do the other side, underneath your chest to lay it long ways. But see if you can release the tension around your... We're going to hold this for a minute. Just let everything loosen up and let everything go. And then ask yourself, when you're in this pose, are you expecting to take some shape? And maybe there's not a goal that is necessary, but more of a release, a let go of self-judgment, and just ease into it. Okay, if you want to slowly come out of it, I'm going to come all the way up. I'll come back into tabletop and gently come into downward facing dog. So lift your sit bones up and notice how that left hip is feeling compared to the right. It might feel a little warmer. It might feel a little bit more stretched out, but really notice what's going on with different sensations. All right, come on down to tabletop. Okay, now bring that left leg back, left ball of the foot down. Okay, and then slowly start bringing that right knee towards the left wrist and the right ankle towards the left wrist. Drop the left knee down if you haven't done so, and maybe slide back a little bit. You can certainly put a block under your sit bone. Let me show you the bolster or any kind of pillow you may have at home is another thing that you may want to have that you can kind of drape down into. But before you drape down, please stay up for just a moment. And again, I please bring the left ball of the foot down to the ground, lengthen it out so that you feel nice and the left leg is straightened completely back to you, and then drop the left knee down. Hold yourself up for a moment, relaxing the upper body a bit, even though you're up in what is called pigeon. And then slowly bring yourself down, however you want to be. And it's also nice to be acquainted with how one side might have different sensations versus the other. It's good information to have. And see if you can let go of any tension in your jaw. Because this is kind of an intense pose. This is definitely an advanced pose. I don't usually teach it a lot, in particular online, because I can't see people and I'm not sure if everybody's doing it right. But let go of your jaw. And the jaw is another area where we tend to hold a lot of self-judgment. So by releasing the tension in your jaw, you can probably breathe a little bit more easily. You can breathe more easily. And just let go of that hip, wherever you're at. I forgot to mention the people doing thread the needle, please bring the right leg over the left knee. I'm sure you figured that out by now. And then when you're ready, slowly come up. You can move your props aside if you have any. And then come to downward facing dog. Again, connecting in with how that right hip is feeling. Don't forget to keep that jaw nice and loose, right? Even though we're hanging upside down, letting the blood flow going to our head, huh? And let go. And then come on down to a seated position. Nice and slow. Feet out in front. Oops. Bring your fingertips behind you and bring the chest up, opening up the chest. Again, bringing the heart center forward and up, radiating that energy and compassion into our hearts. And then keeping that integrity of that lengthening of the spine. Inhale your arms up and see if you can fold at your hips. Just folding down, coming into a restorative pose, into a going within yourself, bringing that compassion back down into yourself. And feeling that love, that rejuvenation that is very important for all of us in order to heal both physically and mentally with whatever we are going through. And then slowly come on back up. Bring the soles of your feet together. And butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. Feeling nice and opening there. Again, maybe bring your fingertips behind you. Lengthen the spine. Reach your arms up. Fold forward. Feel the nice stretch that's going to go on in your inner thighs, your groin area. Maybe the outer hip, lower back is letting go of some tension. How can I practice compassion for myself? And what would it look like? And come on back up. And bring the soles of your feet to the floor. We're going to lower ourselves down. Whoops, I'm going to come around this way, okay? Slowly, 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 slowly. Come all the way down. Oh, yeah. We'll come into bridge. So bring your elbows in, down around your sides, robot your arms. Root your feet and start lifting your pelvis up to the sky. Bringing your shoulder blades a little closer together. But again, doing a chest opener, a heart opener, a belly opener. Nurturing and bringing the light from the sky into our bellies and into our hearts. Ultimately creating some kind of self-compassion and energy. Nice little thing there too. And then at the same time, strengthen our glutes. And then slowly come on back down. Okay, bring your arms out to a T. Maybe walk your feet out as the width of your mat and drop your knees over to the right and just hold there, keeping your shoulders on the ground. You know, you can compare compassion like a strength training exercise where if you keep moving a muscle over and over again, it will ultimately get stronger. So by cultivating compassion to yourself, by doing yoga movements, by doing breath movements, will make that muscle, that brain muscle, that good feeling muscle come a little closer. And then drop your knees over to the other side and just hold it there. And notice if there's one side that might need a little bit more compassion release. You may want to play with it a little bit more later. Relax the shoulders down. And then when you're ready, let's come into Shavasana. So lengthen your feet out. Bring your palms up to the sky, down, and your arms down by your side. So really relax into that grounding, nurturing feeling. And feel the whole back side of your body touching the earth, because the earth is now giving you some compassion by being there, by holding you, by grounding you, by making you feel safe. And so by generating that safe feeling, maybe you can relax just a little bit more. And notice how gentle your breath is. Try not to force it. Just let the breath be its natural rhythm. Soften your shoulders, soften your throat, and relax that jaw of self-judgment. Now you can stay here all day, which is a beautiful state to be in, nurturing yourself. Or you can start wiggling your fingers and toes. Just bring a little bit of movement back into your body. And when you're ready, roll over on your right side. And please don't just come right up, but take a moment to feel that right side, that grounding, that relaxation, that comfortable feeling. And when you're ready, come on up to a seated position. Doesn't matter what it is, just as long as you're nice and comfortable. And you know, the Dalai Lama famously said in his book, Art of Happiness, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. So bring your hands together and inhale compassion to yourself and exhale compassion to the world. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Namaste.